the dark side is a pathway to many abilities some would be considered unnatural, like the New England Patriots. Welcome back to the James and Dame Show. I'm Josiah.
And I'm Will.
And today we're going to be talking about the conference championship game recap. I apologize you had to sit there and listen to a Star Wars pun again. I'm sure you're pretty well versed in the New England Patriots and them being referred to as the evil empire. And then if you watch Tom Grossi. So we only had 2 games this last weekend, and it felt super weird with how few games were being played. Because
Yeah,
normally there's a couple.
it felt like really empty, and it feels like we're finally like it feels like it's
We're
finally
getting to
hitting
that.
that it's the like we're at the
Yeah.
end of the season, and it's like it feels like just like a month or like a month and a half ago we were like, yeah, Baker could win MVP, and now we're like,
Oh my gosh.
so Baker could win MVP. The Colts were like Super Bowl favorites, and it was and so much is so
Mm-hmm.
things. Well, things have gone by so
Good
fast.
times. Good times.
Yeah,
Good
that's
times,
when
my friend.
that's when it was like we were living in Fantasyland. And don't get me wrong, it's been a fun season, but now we're like now it feels a
Oh
little
yeah.
bit more like a regular. The finish feels a little bit more like a normal season. I feel like, you know,
Yeah.
you
It
have
kind of does.
you have that one team that you were like, I really wish you weren't the one who made it, and then you have the other team that is just like, you're really good. I'm not surprised you're here. I really hope you win.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Feels like
But
feels like gold.
yeah.
But yeah, let's
Yeah. I don't.
do we want to get into this with the AFC Championship first?
Might as well because it happened first. Um.
Yeah, there was.
yeah.
I mean, if you want to talk, I if you want to talk the actual game, uh, this game was like a tale of two halves, literally and like
Oh, it really was.
metaphorically, with the snow element of this game, where
Yeah.
this this game actually for quite a while felt like, or at least going like in that first half, it really felt like the Broncos were putting up a really good fight and could have actually came away with this. Jared Stidham wasn't actually playing too bad. Um,
No, he wasn't doing terrible.
yeah, and honestly, some people have said it, and I'm inclined to agree with them that like at least in that first half before the snow really hit, he outperformed Drake May. Like Drake May has not
Yeah.
had a great playoff run. Uh, Obviously, with it
No.
being his first trip to the playoffs, he kind of needs some teams to, or some of his players to lift him up a little bit. And I think they've done a really good job. But this, even with Jared Stidham as your starter, this very easily could have been a Broncos win. And
Yeah. Elements do change, unfortunately. I will say this though: there were a lot of costly mistakes, even in the first half, that like was terrible for the Broncos, especially that fumble um, that got the Patriots some points. Yeah, that was inevitable. I mean, when you have a backup in the AFC Championship game, you're not expecting him to perform lights out. Um, I will say this though: I did pick the Patriots to win this game because easiest path to Super Bowl. You're facing not complete teams now. Um, Henson point the Houston Texans. But with the Broncos, I was like, if they had Bo Nix, I think the Broncos would have won by like 10 or 13.
Yeah.
Like obviously not like blown out, but like pretty convincingly won. It
I
wasn't. It's not like a bias against the Patriots. It's just I don't think the Patriots are as good as they seem. The fact that
yeah.
they made it to the Super Bowl, at least in my opinion, like I know you've been saying this too, but like the AFC this year has been kind of weak, especially towards the later end of it. Obviously, you had like great teams like Jacksonville, but they fell flat on their face in their game because Buffalo just outperformed them. Speaking of Buffalo, they just kept shooting themselves in the foot. Josh Allen turnovers. Texans had no offense. Steelers just happened to be there. Chargers didn't have an O line or any help for Justin Herbert. You had like it goes on and on and on. Like we've mentioned before, whoever is the healthiest tends to win the most games. Like that's just how it is.
Yeah, I
So
mean, again, in reality, I think the three teams that stood the biggest chance in as being like the best competitors in the Super Bowl representing the AFC were the Bills, who, again, it was dependent on if they could pull things together. The Broncos, who obviously like they were a pretty sound team, but you lose Bo Nix, so that's where I think they've looking at the game, I think that's obvious, pretty obvious where they fell short. And then yeah, again the Jaguars, who again I think like Bills Jaguars and then Bills Broncos, like that. All three of them, the way that kind of played out, it worked really well for the Patriots because again, like you mentioned, Texans, Steelers, and Chargers were not. They were kind of the three that were like, yeah, we're just kind of happy to be here,
yeah,
and so Patriots, they kind of just and like I'm not I've been very I've been playing a lot of devil's advocate for most of the season and even the past few weeks where it's this like yeah they get like they've had this easy schedule but like what do you want them to do about it? It's not like they don't control their schedule or anything.
no,
uh
not really.
and yeah, it's like I've been playing devil's advocate of hey they're still winning at least, but it with the way things have gone, especially in the playoffs where it's not been super convincing and it's more like I think the Chargers kind of played the most. I can't even the because the Patriots offense wasn't has not done much,
No,
and the Patriots defense is what has stepped up so big in the playoffs so far because
yeah, I
they've
mean
played
that's
phenomenal. They've played really well, and I can't really dispute that. Now again, who did they go up against? Justin Herbert without no line, the Texans with C.J. Stroud, and Jarrett Stidham. So like the competition there wasn't great, and so the offense had to do very little. But yeah, it kind of
yeah,
feels like um what like a couple of years ago where things just were like falling in line for the Chiefs to just win games, but
yeah,
not quite the same circumstances, but kind of along the line for the Patriots. And I'm not trying to do the whole it's scripted thing, but it has gotten to a point where it's like I am also like a little fed up with the fact that the Patriots had this easy of a schedule. Like good for you that you get to get back so soon. Like hats off to you for a speedy rebuild, but like this doesn't feel as earned as it should be. And again, I'm not trying to take away
no,
credit from what they've done, but this is like eh.
yeah. Like there were plenty of instances this season where I'm like, they're gonna lose a game sometime this season. Like it obviously didn't happen until the Bills beat them, but like it was just annoying just seeing them beat every single team this season, and I'm like, they're not even playing great competition. Uh, Obviously, that's not their fault. Um, but I don't know. Like you look at their schedule. I don't know. I saw a post earlier today.
The
I
one I
think,
sent you.
yeah, the one you sent me. Yeah, actually, it was the 14 out of the 17 teams that they played this season in the regular season fired their head coach or their coordinators or something. Like they
Yeah, it
fired
was.
people.
It was. What was it? They played 3 games against teams that still have their head coach, and the Panthers, the Saints, and the
Yep.
Bengals. And the fact that the Bengals still have their head coaches,
I was about to say that the
like,
Bengals having their head coach is
honestly, it could
crazy.
be one more. And then there were 3 games, 2 against the Jets and 1 against the Buccaneers, where it wasn't the head coach being fired, but it was 2 or more coordinators being fired, and then the rest, all of the head coaches are gone. And it's like,
Oh
it's
yeah,
the whole
easily.
AFC North, other than the Bengals, pretty much all of the AFC East, and it's just like it's just a completely different. You look at that and it's like this is a really bad. And again, you look at the Steelers and the Ravens and the Bills, and it's like these. There's a lot of turnover in the coaching pool, where these teams are fed up with not winning, not getting to a Super Bowl. So some of them are firing their head coaches for that reason, not because they just suck, but
Yeah.
it's still a stat that it makes you go, "Wow, that's interesting." But I'll still like refute, like, as far as the regular season goes, I'm not too upset with it. They played well. Drake May played really well in the regular season. The team as a whole played really well, and I think yeah, it was a really soft schedule, but I'm not super upset with them getting a 2 seed. Maybe I could argue that maybe I'd sit there and say, oh, the Jags probably maybe deserved it a little bit more of a 2 seed than the Patriots. Maybe I'm do it 3. But what frustrated me more was just the sheer luck of what fell before them in the playoffs that allowed them to get to the Super Bowl. And so I'm not even mad at
Yeah.
the Patriots. I'm just mad. I'm not even really mad. It's just kind of annoying that they had such an easy path.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and you can sit here and like we can complain about this every single day if we want. But there are Patriots fans who are like, well, I guess now, was it because we're good again? Everybody hates us, and I'm so glad that we're back. Or whatever it is, they hate us because they ain't us mentality, which is fine. But I'm sorry, I just have really bad memories of dealing with Patriots fans who think that they own the world for some reason. Obviously, when we've been a dynasty for 2 decades, obviously comes a bit of an ego. So, in my experience, I just think humbling is right up on the menu. I think it's very well deserved. At the same time, it's like you can't refute like the success they've had. Like this is what their 12th Super Bowl appearance, I think
yeah,
it is.
it'll be their 12th Super Bowl
Um,
appearance.
yeah. So what are they? 6-5 in Super Bowl appearances, which is you know obviously it's not like a super positive record, but like 6 Super Bowls is crazy. Like
Six,
you can't you can't refute that. Like that's ridiculous. And they're all out here looking to get their 7th,
what
which is even crazier.
6-5. It's interesting that the Patriots in the past like 20 25 years are 6-5 with their 12th chance at a chip, and then and in the Super Bowl, and then Josh Allen is 8-6 in the playoffs. So they're like, it's not quite as much, but like they're close in Super Bowl record to Josh Allen in the playoffs. Uh, I mean, you can say 6-5 isn't that good, but the fact that they've been to the playoffs 11 times is just absurd. Um,
Yeah.
it's just It's so weird. See, like they're absolutely one of the most successful franchises, and again, like you can say what you want. If they win the Super Bowl, they win the Super Bowl. Yeah, there's gonna be people that put an asterisk next to it, but I mean, you look at the Lakers in the bubble year, and there it's like, yeah, they won the finals. It's still still a ring, and so like it's still gonna be you're still gonna look at it and be like, ah, yeah, they end up being the champion if they win it. It's gonna
Yeah.
You're gonna have a lot of question marks, but again, I mean, we could get it kind of shift this to the other side of things where you because they're gonna have to play a very real. I mean, you said you wanted them to play a real opponent, and this is about as real of an opponent as you're gonna get in the Seahawks, who just duked it out with the Rams, and
Yeah.
I mean, kind of
That was a much more entertaining game.
yeah. I mean, whoever the Patriots got was going to be a much more real competition and the most real
Oh,
competition they've had
easily.
in the playoffs. But Seahawks by far, I think, are the tougher matchup. The Rams, well, I could have. I had like I saw. I still like saw the Rams potentially winning this game, and it came. It was pretty. It came down to pretty much. I mean, technically there was a last drive, but it was like the third to last drive that kind of
Yeah.
settled it. But it was pretty down to the wire. Um, I do think the Seahawks are the better team. I give the Rams the edge because it's a division game, and you never know how that stuff that adds a different element. But I think the Seahawks for the Patriots are just going to be that much tougher. You have an offense that is much more competent than any of the offenses you faced so far in the playoffs. You have
Yeah.
a defense that is, I mean, they've faced tough defenses in the playoffs. Again, you went against the Chargers, Texans, and Broncos, so that you can definitely point to that and say that that hasn't been as much of a cakewalk as the defenses. It's the offenses that have been weak. You're gonna get
Well, if you have
a
a,
team that's
yeah, I mean,
very complete though is the difference.
yeah,
Seahawks.
even with that though, because like the whole argument of like, oh, we've been facing top 10 defenses in the playoffs. Okay, but a defense that's constantly on the field all the time, because their offense is doing three and outs all game. Okay, well, I mean, good for you, I guess. I mean, people are gonna get. I mean, players are human. Like they're not, you know, gonna have the same stamina all game. Like you're gonna constantly put a defense on a field. They're gonna, bend and break at some point. Like that's just how it is. I mean, that's what the Broncos did. It's what the Texans did. Because Stroud just kept throwing interceptions, so it was super easy for the Patriots to work with that. Like that's what I'm saying. Like even the argument of, oh, we've gone up against great defenses. Okay, but you haven't played a real offense either. So you
Well,
haven't played a
yeah,
complete team yet.
yeah, and I
So I
wasn't
think
I
the
wasn't saying that they had. I was just making the argument
no
that
no
at
no.
least they've gone against good defenses.
Oh yeah.
I don't I don't know that they've I don't know that they've quite gone against what they're going to be going against in the Seahawks. Seahawks, I don't know really how to gauge them. I know, like, during the regular season, they were top five, they top three defense for sure. I would
Yeah.
easily top five. I would argue top three, but so were like the Texans. Seahawks, they showed that defense in the divisional round against the 49ers, but not so much against the Rams. But we saw that on a consistent basis where I think only the first matchup between those two did we see it kind of be a little more defensive. Um, so it'll be interesting. But enough about looking at that matchup between the actual Super Bowl opponents, because we will get to that next week in the preview. For
Mm-hmm.
this video, let's actually look at what happened in this Seahawks Rams game, because this one was really
Oh
it was a great game.
yes.
Um, there's a statistic that was like quarterbacks to lose while putting up 300 points, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Um, there's like 3 quarterbacks who have done it once in their career, and Matthew Stafford has done it twice this season to the Seahawks,
Oh
which
my
is
gosh.
and that's just brutal. Like he goes out, he puts up really good stats, and I mean obviously didn't play like the cleanest game, but like I kind of I and like Puka Nakua had a really good. It was the offense did a great job. I speaking on the Rams, I've kind of viewed this as potentially like a last push with this team. That this was going to kind of
Hmm.
be going out for Matthew Stafford. Devontae Adams might consider it. I don't know much longer he's going to be around, but they have a few guys where they're just
Yeah.
they got quite a few veterans on there, and I after watching this and most of the playoffs, I have my fingers crossed that this team comes back and they get a improve the defense because this offense was so scary that if they can manage to bring back some of these pieces and put them together for another run with an improved defense that can actually like you know keep it a little lower scoring because
Yeah.
I think with a better defense I think this team easily could have made it to the Super Bowl
Yeah.
and
I think I think I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one because like obviously you mentioned Stafford putting up all those numbers and everything. Like he can only do so much. He's one player on a team. Like everyone's got to step up and do their own thing, but at the same time, it's just like I think with the whole if they come back another year with the same core, I think it's either this year or next year that this is the final run they can do with this core. Because like at some point Stafford's going to retire,
mm-hmm.
pieces are going to move. Sean McVay is mentioned over the few years like he's not sure how long he wants to be coaching because obviously you win a Super Bowl, that's like your big milestone and everything. Um, like there's all those kind of things, and especially with Devonte Adams, considering like how long he's going to be playing as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have all of these question marks too. So like if you can convince everybody to come back one more year, I think it's very possible that they could make a run to next year. But like this was like their best shot, or at least one of their best shots recently. Obviously, they've been in the playoffs the last few years, but this one's been like the best shot they've had since 2021. Um, but like it's frustrating because like you see how good that offense is, but that defense wasn't super complimentary all the time. Like they have the pieces. Don't get me wrong. Like Jared Verse and all those guys, like they're really good. But like that secondary was always like iffy. So I think that they can go to the draft, get some players, either recruit players, trade, do something, revamp the team, keep the pieces. They got a shot next year, but yeah, I mean, I like the Rams too. Don't get me wrong. I think they were definitely a Super Bowl contender for most of this season. No, there were a couple hiccups, but yeah, I mean, I kind of lost faith in them once they lost the Seahawks in the regular season because I was like they're good, but if you do that against your division opponent, I'm concerned about what's going to happen for like the rest of this season and into the playoffs because if you blow a lead like that against a division rival, that's going to get stuck in your head, especially if you're going to play them later on. So I mean, it didn't really get stuck in their head during the NFC Championship game, but I mean, that's always that chip on your shoulder that you want to use. But unfortunately, the Rams just weren't able to capitalize on it. So I think they're going to come back, um, at least some of their pieces, but I'm not sure yet. I have to see what kind of happens in the offseason. I mean, everybody has to, but um,
Yeah,
we'll see.
but yeah, I mean absolutely, but Rams they had a good season. I do kind of fear that they kind of got broke by the. It almost feels like the Panthers were actually the thing that broke them, because that's kind of where it felt like things derailed. and since then it was like they just weren't quite the same. But Rams, they put up like a really good showing. Seahawks were just an absolute monster this year, and we'll see what things look like next year. But if they can bring some of those pieces back, I think they could have one of this, if not the scariest teams in the league. But the Seahawks, they've had they've had such a good year, such a good playoff run. Their defense has been really,
Yeah.
really good. Uh, Kenneth Walker's been really good. Sam Darnold's been so good. Um, JSN obviously has been magnificent all year. Um, and I really just I feel really I do I'm happy for Sam Darnold. Um, and there's been a lot of talk about like, you know, the first one from his class when he was viewed as the biggest bust from his class. Um, and he's gonna be the first from his class to make the Super Bowl. Uh, Casted out by the
Which is
Jets, the
crazy.
Panthers, the Vikings let
The
him
Vikings.
go.
They
Backed up
shouldn't have
in
let him.
San Fran. It's like all these things. There's just like he overcame so much adversity, and ironically, it's like I do think it's funny that it had been pointed out to me that he's gonna play in the Super Bowl against the team that kind of put him on that real downward trajectory in against the Jets, which was because it was against the Patriots where he was quote unquote seeing ghosts. That was the seeing ghosts game was against the Patriots in 2019, and
Something like that.
that's kind of what set him on that trajectory. And now he gets to play against them in the Super Bowl as the starter for the Seattle Seahawks, and it's like it's such a good story for him. Um, I'm really happy for him, and
Hmm.
I just, like it's really hard for me to say anything bad about the Seahawks. It wasn't like the team I was necessarily pulling for the most in the playoffs, but they're just a really good team. There's not really anything to hate about the team. You know, again, Sam Darnold is a rebound guy. JSN, such a good player. Kenneth Walker's a really
Phenomenal.
good player who's battled through injury. You got the defense, who's just so good. Demarcus Lawrence, who came here to win a championship, and his first season out of Dallas, he's in the Super Bowl.
It was just crazy.
Coincidence? I think not.
No, it's not a coincidence.
It's yeah. I don't know how many people were pulling for Seattle the whole playoffs, but it's
I was definitely one of them.
yeah. It's
I liked Seattle. I like the idea.
yeah. It's not like a team that people were rooting against. It just isn't like
No.
they weren't the underdog, which is I think kind of why people weren't like yeah get them, but like that people liked the Bears because they felt like underdogs. People liked I mean people just like Matthew Stafford and the Rams. But you had teams that were just like oh yeah like maybe give them a little underdog, give them a little doubt and overcome because everyone likes an underdog story. But the Seahawks,
Oh, easily.
they just were the best team and in the Super Bowl. So it's it was a really fun game between these two. Um, again, JSN had a ridiculous catch.
What quarter was that? That was the.
Um,
I don't remember which quarter it was. I just remember it being a great catch. That's all I remember.
yeah, and I
So,
didn't. It had been pointed out to me that it was also not only was it a spectacular catch, but it was a no look pass as well.
mm-hmm.
But
So,
you can only see it from like one of the angles, but it's just. Oh, and also, I keep forgetting about this, but the acquisition for the Seahawks of Rashid Shaheed midseason
Oh my gosh,
Really,
that was a great trade.
it
That was a
was.
great acquisition.
Yeah, it was a very that worked out very well for them. He's been
He
phenomenal for them.
he's yeah, he's been an immediate impact. That was it that first or second game where he got to Seattle, he returned it for a touchdown. I was like, "Oh, well, they made a good decision."
Yeah,
Cuz he was just sitting on that roster for so long, just haven't been used. So,
he's been
that's
really good.
glad. Yeah.
So
So, it's good to see him being properly used and showing his talent. So,
yeah, and so like uh, again, it's so hard to like. I feel like this game is just it's hard to even say anything about it. Where it's just a really good game, played well by both sides. Wasn't a whole lot of defense. There's a few things where people argue missed calls. There's a controversial
mhm.
um, placement call that some
Yeah.
people weren't super happy about. Uh, and I've seen people talk about like, oh, should it have been challenged or not be challenged? It would have made it 4th and inches, and
Yeah.
if you even if you challenge it, it gets overturned. Yeah, you still keep your timeout, but that honestly that is almost like worse though for you because yeah, if you get the 4th and inches stop, sure you get the ball back sooner. But if they manage to convert that, that's an extra down, which is another 40 seconds that they get to run off.
Oh,
So,
easily, yeah.
like,
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of talk
the,
about that kind of stuff. So
there was a lot to this game, and it was a lot of fun to watch. And I hate to see people get so up in arms about little things that I don't
yeah,
even think were too bad of like missed calls or anything, whereas or
yeah,
bad decisions. Where I don't think it really was that much. I think it was a lot of the play, a lot of them letting them play it out. Um, yeah, there's always gonna be like, oh, they missed this call and this. There's that in every game.
there's always gonna be, yeah, there's gonna be a call every single game. I mean, I can say the same thing about the Huskers playing Michigan literally last night for men's basketball. Like, there were several calls that the refs missed against Michigan, but they never called those. But womp womp, we lost anyway. So like, you're just gonna have to deal with it. It sucks, but like, you
Yeah,
know,
and
it's
again,
just the
like
reality.
I think the refs actually called a pretty decent game. Uh, with only a few like at most I saw maybe 3 misses, um, potentially misses, but it's like it was wishy washy. You look at it in game speed, it's hard to see them, and
Hmm.
some of it's also just like letting things play out. I'm again, this is another game where I'm like I'm not upset with the refs, which is again I feel like we haven't had it's refreshing having games in the playoffs, when it matters the most that aren't being decided by the refs or anything. And so it's nice to have
Yeah.
where it's just a game being played out and maybe it could have been a little bit better defense. But again, you have two really talented
Yeah.
offenses, two really good offensive minds going at it back and forth. This was just a fun game compared to the other
Game of
one.
checkers and chess. Yeah. So, I
But
mean, it happens every season, but I'm just glad that for the most part the games themselves weren't, you know, scarred by any like major penalty or anything that would have completely swung the game. I just think it was pretty clean for the most part. I mean, obviously you get the flashbacks to the Rams Saints game in 2018. Like you get all that kind of stuff, but for the most part, these playoffs have been pretty clean. So I appreciate that.
yeah, can flashbacks to Pagula. But anyways, that that kind of breaks down the conference championship recap where it's hardly even the recap itself, but just really talking about what's coming up soon because we're right at the end of the season. Obviously, there will be Pro Bowl weekend coming up, but don't don't expect don't don't expect anything for that. It's
The the fact that Shadur Sanders is in the Pro Bowl right now has lost all
we
credibility to the Pro Bowl.
don't need
So
we don't need we don't need to take
no,
should have been Trevor
no, we do
Lawrence
not.
anyways.
Yes, it should have.
But that will wrap up the conference championship recap. That has been a great. Just not even gonna address Pro Bowl weekend. Second to last weekend in the NFL for this season, and I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see how the pay if the. I don't really think there's a lose-lose with this one, where either the Patriots get blown out and everyone's like, "Aha, we knew it," or they actually put up a really good fight. They defend their own, and whoever is better comes out on top. Like it's either a really good game or I feel like if the Patriots somehow blow out the Seahawks, then it's just gonna be like. Even then, it's like the Patriots they proved their point. Like I feel like there's not really a losing situation here. Maybe some people who have more disdain for the Patriots organization would say otherwise.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I guess there's the caveat of if you're a Jets fan, but every day's miserable as a Jets fan. So
Yeah, that's just normal for them.
You
I
either
feel
have
so
to-
bad for them.
you either have to root for the Patriots or Sam Darnold.
I think they'd rather root for Sam Darnold, if I'm going to be completely honest.
Yeah, but then Sam Darnold wins a Super Bowl, and it's not with the team that drafted him. That's not a.
I think they'd still be
That's-
happy for him.
You can be happy for him, but that doesn't feel good. So either way, if you're the Jets, it's
Fair.
I think you're miserable. But either way, it'll be fun, and we'll break down this game. We'll break down the Super Bowl a little more next week in the Super Bowl preview. But this has been the conference championship recap. Thank you so much for joining us. We're nearly there at the end. It's been a
Yes.
fun season.
Feels like it went by a little too fast.
It does. It feels like we started a little slow and then it just kicked up really quickly and so now we're here. Just accelerated real fast. But
I think
Alas.
week 8.
alas, we do our best to keep up and we will keep trying to come out with stuff as stuff comes out. So, thank you so much for joining us.
Indeed.
And we look forward to seeing you in the next video.
See ya.
Bye.